What's up, nerds? Just kidding. I mean, well, probably, right? But I am too. Did you guys see all the places that I put the lick in the main video? If you didn't find them, you should definitely go back and watch it again. But spoiler alert, it is present in the little red text that says nerd level 2345312%. That's the numbers of the lick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, etc. Anyway, the next thing was in the 4+3i beat. Had a lot of that too. Anyway, okay, so here's like the explanation that I wrote on the project file of the math. So basically, what I found for a good approximation for the square root of 8 was 17 over 6, and so it is the square root of 8 over 4 though, right? So we're trying to figure out, like, first of all, we need to figure out how many beats we're actually playing in the part in the part where we actually play notes, in the part where the measure actually exists. How many beats are we playing? And so the way I approximated it is with 17 over 6. And of course, it's the square root of 8 over 4, so it's actually 17 over 24, which is equal to 17 16th note triplets. So that's where you get the 17 16th note triplets. 17 over 6 is really surprisingly close. Let me just pull up my calculator here. This video is not going to be like cut together great, but hopefully you can endure the pain of having to wait a couple seconds while I bring out a calculator. Okay, so 17 over 6 is 2.83333, so it's really close. It's approximating it to the nearest hundredth of a beat, which is imperceptible. And that's why I said in the video that the difference between the approximation I'm making and the actual numbers is imperceptible, because 1/100th of a beat, nobody can feel that. So anyway, 17 over 16 is a fantastic approximation for it, and it's actually surprisingly low. So you get 17 16th note triplets because it's 17 over 6 over 4. Anyway, so then what you actually need to say is that not only are we doing that number of beats in the part that we play, but you also need to figure out what portion of the time between the beginnings of measures is that happening. Like how much, like what percentage or what portion of the space between the beginnings of measures does one measure actually take up? And the answer to that is 12 over 17, roughly, right? It's approximately 2 over 2.83, because the real part is 2, and then the absolute value is going to be the distance between the beginnings of measures. So it's going to, and that distance, that absolute value is 2.83. So 2 divided by 2.8333 is roughly 12 over 7. That's what these numbers are telling you. And so then you do some math, and what I found was that if I wanted to do it all with these approximations, I would need 289 slots in each measure, but that's impossible. And it's like 289 is a prime number, or it's not a prime number, sorry. 289 is the square of a prime number, though. So like the only options are 289 or 17.7 for the way that this is divided, which is like this. So we have beats per bar and steps per beat. So I was trying to do like 17 and 17, but the steps per beat can actually only go up to 16. It's one off, and it was really annoying, but that's what we had to do. Oh, no. Okay, I'm just going to reload this again so that we get this coming back up. Okay, so anyway, what to do? And I'm just typing this as I'm figuring it out. So when I'm typing this, I legitimately don't know what I'm going to do. And then I figured it out. So here's what we did. FL will have 17 beats per measure, and an extra length will be appended of 7.04163, which 7.04 beats. Again, completely imperceptible. And this time we're talking about FL's beats, which are actually 16th note triplets. So we're talking about so I actually included the 0.04. So we're talking about to the nearest hundredth of a 16th note triplet is this approximation. It's super, super spot on. So anyway, this is because the 17 beats in FL's measure only take up 2 over the square root of 8 of the total time between measures beginning. So that's what I mentioned earlier. So it turns out that 1/24th is that. So 1/24th of a beat approximates to the nearest 2/1000ths of a beat. Yeah, to the nearest 2/1000th of a beat. But remember, a beat is actually a 16th note triplet. So it's like nearest 2/1000th of a 16th note triplet. So what we can do is just add exactly a 16th note triplet as far as FL is concerned, which is 1/24th. So if we go into the project, you can see this. So here we have our like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's that extra little bit. So if we do 1/6 of a step, you can see that's what that is. So 1/6 of a step is a 24th of a beat, and the beats are actually 16th note triplets. So anyway, it's fun stuff. You guys are getting like sneak peeks at some of the projects I'm doing by looking over at my project list over there. Ooh. Anyway, okay, so yeah, let's move on. So this means we add 7 and 1/24th beats. There, yeah, I just talked about that. And get it perfectly quantized in FL. So like, here's the thing: is that I could have made this like I described in the video, just 4/4, because that's a 64th note triplet. That's impossible to really comprehend. And if you heard the beat, you know it just feels like 4/4. But I kept it in there just to be true to what I'm doing, which is a fun theoretical thing. I mean, it's not theoretical. I did implement it practically, but it's all about the theory. The fun of this comes from the theory. Like, I could just make a lo-fi, or it's actually not a lo-fi. It has lo-fi elements. Like, it has vinyl crackle and the piano is lo-fi. But it's just like this chill hip-hop beat. And I could have made a chill hip-hop beat without having to do all of this, but I chose to do it with imaginary numbers, and I wanted to make the approximations as close as possible, so I did include this, and that messes it up a ton. You can kind of see how that works. Is there like a... No. Okay, that's weird. Oh, no, that's not weird. Never mind. Because, remember, like, these measures here are actually the 17 beats, and then you add the extra 7. So there's the first instance where you get the added on. So you can see, like, right there, there's the extra 64th note triplet. Anyway, oops. God, I'm showing you everything. OBS, all my other projects. All right, and then yeah, I mean that's about it. Like, you kind of understand how I implemented that into FL now. But as far as FL is concerned, each measure is split up fundamentally into 577 divisions, 1/24th of each beat, where there are 24.04 beats. And this is all just attempted a quantizable rational approximation of 2 + 2i over 4, since otherwise I can't really make the music. This approximation is close enough, however, I think you probably couldn't tell the difference. Yeah, like, we talked about like nearest 2/1000ths of a beat, which is FL's beat, which is actually a 16th note triplet, so it's like, this is really small margins of error. And normally 17 would feel like a shortened 3/4. That's the thing, is that like what you would expect this to feel like is a kind of shortened 3/4 and then a pause and then another shortened 3/4 and then a pause. But because of the way the numbers line up, it just feels like the first 3 beats of a 4/4 measure that are played. And anyway, but then we also have, of course, as you heard in the beat, all these places where we start it. So like here's where the silence starts, where you can't start a measure once you get here, or end it. So you see, like, there are these notes that go through that, and then they come in basically on beat 2 of the next one, and little half step ups and stuff like that. I tried to be not super dull with the harmony. I didn't go crazy on the harmony, obviously. It's pretty simple stuff, but I tried to not be too dull either. So there are half steps up and a couple of diminished chords. So it's not all just normal stuff. Not that normal chords have anything wrong with them. Just it is a little bit of a chill hip hop thing. So I wanted to get a little bit of the jazz flavor into it because that's just appropriate. Anyway, yeah, the solo was partially performed and partially written. I basically performed. I just kind of soloed over it for a while. I pasted this beat out like 20 times, and then I just soloed it for a while, and then I picked out some parts of a few different choruses that I liked and pasted them together and quantized them properly, and then we got the little piano thing. Yeah, I mean, at this point I'm just doing a more in-depth tour of the track because I already covered the math, but yeah, there you go. Cool. There's the math. There's your little unlisted video about the math. Thanks for watching.